Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Mush back at it with another video, and I'm not the biggest MMORPG guy in the world. Like, I appreciate games like Final Fantasy XIV, totally get why people are super into them, and I know that there's this audience that is, like, desperate for new MMOs to come onto the scene and really blow up, and one of those games that a lot of people really wanted to succeed is Ashes of Creation, and I wasn't completely aware of the story of what was going on with Ashes of Creation until I had somebody message me a few days ago talking about the Ashes of Creation situation if I heard it, and I just kind of blew them off, honestly. I had some stuff going on, but then I had another person message me about Ashes of Creation right after, and I was like, alright, wait a second, what is going on with this game? I typically don't get messages about, disaster situations with games from multiple people in quick succession like that. Like, if I get messages from people, it's generally usually about, like, a game coming out and is it good or not, or should they spend their money on it. When I got multiple messages about this, I was like, alright, let me sit down and look into this story, and it is a crap show. So Intrepid Studios did crowdfund Ashes of Creation, this big, ambitious MMORPG that was gonna come out, and they got a lot of money, crowdfunded, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But unfortunately, Ashes of Creation came out in early access on Steam in December. It did have alpha and beta periods prior to that, but one of the big things is the alpha and beta periods were actually on their own launcher. MMORPGs, all of them would absolutely kill to be on their own launcher because one of the big aspects of them is the microtransactions and the live service elements and generating revenue, and you kind of need to generate a good amount of revenue to keep the game running, and that's why World of Warcraft isn't on Steam. Yes, there are other games available on Steam. Final Fantasy XIV is now available on Steam, but if they come to Steam, it's usually well after the game officially comes out, because ideally you would want to be on your own platform and you would want to be collecting all of the revenue and keep it all in-house. But Ashes of Creation, its early access launch happened right on Steam, and I think that was, for a lot of people, a red flag already. Well, the biggest red flag is from Steven Sheriff over on their Discord. I can make a limited statement in my personal capacity and not on behalf of the company regarding the situation. Control of the company shifted away from me, and the board began directing actions that I could not ethically agree with or carry out. As a result, I chose to resign in protest rather than lend my name or authority to decisions I could not ethically support. Following my resignation, much of the senior leadership team resigned. Following those departures, the board made the decision to issue WARN Act notices and proceed with a mass layoff. I cannot responsibly speak to further details at this time due to ongoing legal and governance matters. What I can say is that the developers and staff acted in good faith and deserve better than the uncertainty they are now facing. I am incredibly dismayed by the situation. Now, here is some speculation and a real unfortunate situation that this could devolve into. This game did have a significant amount of crowdfunding. How much did it raise? Well, over $3 million was crowdfunded all the way back in the year 2017. What is the year now? 2026. So, it got crowdfunded a long time ago, and it's been getting crowdfunded. However, one of the aspects of the crowdfunding, from what I can understand, is that if the game didn't come out, when it comes to games that are super ambitious, you guys know me, I might be the most pessimistic guy on the planet when it comes to super ambitious games and games that you see footage of, and you're like, that looks a little too good to be true. There is that little bit of a concern, and it was outlined in the crowdfunding situation that if you did support the game and the game never came out, you would be getting a refund. However, here is the caveat. The game did hit early access, so does this apply to the game coming out? Is this going to null and void the idea of the game never came out? So are people getting a refund? I don't know. I would imagine that they're not. Beyond that, this is a game that is being sold on Steam, even with this situation going on, for $49.99. You can buy this game for $50. Now, obviously, if you crowdfunded the game, probably, I would imagine you got a copy of the game via their own launcher and whatnot, and, you probably didn't spend the $50, but there are people spending $50 on this game, or did spend $50 on this game, expecting this expansive MMORPG that's going to be kept alive for a while, especially if it's hitting early access in December. If you're releasing an early access in December, and then you're shutting down the game only a couple months later, which we don't know if they're shutting down the game, to be fair. However, certainly that is the expectation. If everybody got laid off, if everybody left the Intrepid Studios, what is going on there? At best, Steam should suspend the sales of this game. This game is still available to buy. Steam should suspend the sales of this game because nobody knows what's going on. And at worst, they should delist this game from Steam outright. I'm sure we're gonna find clarity here soon because at some point, rubber's gotta meet the road and you just gotta figure it out. I mean, if there's not a ton of people working on the game, if their staff isn't working on the game, then what is the future of the game? Obviously, the game's not gonna be viable, but the game has also shifted to a mostly negative reception on Steam. 2,800 recent reviews, 30% positive. You know, a lot of users scamming scumbags. Do not buy this game. Time to contact the ACCC. Scam. Lead designer quit. Lead dev team quit. Employees laid off. Money stolen. Board of directors consists of only Steven. So unless he suffers from schizophrenia, I doubt there was any disagreement. Scam. Don't buy. Servers will be shut down soon enough. I'm a piece of crap, Steven. The product was not received for free. It was purchased on the developer's website before the game was transferred to Steam. So what I would imagine is a lot of users bought the game and then it got transferred over to Steam. Their access to the game was transferred over to Steam. And then there could have also been people that bought the game for $50. It's not just transferring. They're selling the game. Even if it was 4 people that bought the game, look, if a game is being sold and then it's shutting down only a few months, 2 months after release, that's a big problem. What a giant waste of time and money. I bought this game from their website for pre-Steam release for $150. $150. I had faith in the vision for this game, such a giant scam it ended up being. And you're talking about people spending an absolute premium on this game, $150. And again, now the question remains, are they getting refunds? Are they not? How does the early access release affect this? And it definitely can be perceived as such. Hey, did you just release this game on early access? Did you throw something together just to get it out so you can null and void that idea of a refund being applicable? Because if people are getting laid off, if all this is going on and all this, I don't know if refunds are going to happen. How would you afford refunding all of these people when there was obviously an exceptional amount of money that was spent in the development and production of this game? How are you going to make the however many millions of dollars? It's got to be well over $3 million, since you would also want to refund the people that bought the game after the crowdfunding period and then refund them as well if they bought the game just outright on Steam. This is a crap show. Game should absolutely be delisted. And if the game was bought outside of Steam, Steam can't really do anything in the form of offering you a refund. Like, you bought the game outside of Steam, that's something you're gonna have to handle with Intrepid Studios and whatnot. But Intrepid Studios seems like it's gonna be no more. And this is a scam. This is one of the bigger scam situations that I've seen in gaming in recent memory. Now, this has been a game that's been talked about since 2017. And again, if revenue was collected back in 2017, that's the issue. If the crowdfunding was collected back in 2017, if you were expecting a refund, yeah, you should still be entitled to that refund, even if the game is in early access. That's not an actual release. However, we're talking about playing with words here and how that's outlined in the agreement. Like, I'm not here to get into a legal situation of, what's the wording and what is a game being released, what isn't a game being released. However, I know that as far as perception goes, people are going to be absolutely infuriated by that. But again, if the game was crowdfunded 8 years ago, the game hasn't been a gigantic success. How are they just going to come up with the money to refund everybody? Like, it's just basic economics, I feel, at that point. Like, money's just not going to come out of thin air for everybody to get refunded when this game has been crowdfunded for so long. But that's my 2 cents. That's my low IQ analysis. And my low IQ analysis is that this game needs to be delisted or at the very least suspended from being sold on Steam. But yeah, complete crap show as far as that's concerned. But that's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. They gotta get on this ASAP and figure something out, at least Steam, that is. But I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.